Well, they say the devil is always in the details, and that's certainly the case with a program the Harper government promised would help veterans with mental health problems. They promised $200 million over 6 years, when in fact, the money will be spread over 50 years. As Vashi Kapelos reports, the government is being accused of deliberately misleading Canadians.
Thank you, Chair.
With its reputation among some veterans in tatters, the government less than a week ago announced $200 million in mental health funding.
We believe the new clinic will help.
The press release was explicit, $200 million over 6 years, except it's not. Now the government is admitting the money will be spread over half a century.
Can you explain that?
The government has to commit the funding to meet the needs on an accrual basis, but you have to commit it up front.
So was that made clear, though, initially?
I think we should be a little more clear.
Critics say it's more than a lack of clarity.
Why are Conservatives trying to paper over their failure to support our veterans rather than fixing the problems?
Most of the money will go towards operational stress injury clinics, one in Halifax and 7 satellites. A $19 million investment initially, and the remaining $140 million over the life of the program. With veterans who served in Afghanistan in their 20s, that could be 50 years.
It's a little deceiving and it's a little disappointing in that.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel Stéphane Grenier worked in mental health for the Department of Defense for more than a decade. He says he'll be watching how the money is spent.
Is it only going to be a little trickle here and there, or is it going to be transformational? And I don't see as it being transformational.
This veterans controversy is just the latest for the government. Earlier this week, an Auditor General's report showed 1 in 5 veterans waits more than 8 months for access to mental health services. And before that, it was revealed more than $1 billion of the Veterans Affairs budget went unspent.
Earlier this year, the closure of 8 Veterans Affairs offices and an ensuing dust-up with Minister of Veterans Affairs Julian Fantino.
We had a lot more before.
The government insists a silent majority of veterans is supportive. After this latest controversy, not everyone is convinced.
Start with an apology to our veterans.
Vashi Kapelos, Global News, Ottawa.